Right, and we should now be live. Hello everyone, or the few of you that are here. I think everyone's probably at Evo's stream. Hello Cairo. How are you doing today? Just try and have a slurp of tea. Hello King Giga. The ever loyal King Giga. It is very much appreciated. So today I thought I would do the Badlands challenge, or at least start off with the Badlands challenge. I did a little bit of homework just before stream, just getting like the basic stuff set up, the power research, the staff center research, getting some initial enclosures set up ready to go, and I even have some animals to start to get on with straight away. So I'm going to get these released. I am a little bit...
You're really molding this place into shape. Personally, I hope that shape is a $sign.
Thank you for interrupting me, Kevin. I need to do a little bit of changes here, though, because I haven't given myself enough space to put in some amenities of this. Just going to give myself a little bit of room. We're going to have some bathroom needs up here. Actually, I'm going to use one I downloaded. I'm going to use this one.
Ladies and gentlemen,
you got your Tyrannus and Pyroraptor habitat in your Japan challenge mode path. Nice. Peasant to loyal is a worthy upgrade. Agreed. Hello chat, I'm doing alright. How are you doing? I do recommend that if you don't already have using it Pro Strato, it's the only good carnivore on this map. Well, I'm going to start with the ones we've got 100% DNA for, since it's going to be the cheapest option. You know, you could trank that, lug it in the back of a car and drive it there. You could tie it to the top of the ATVs and drive it there.
ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome
Unbelievable.
Mr. Soros to the park.
Right, you guys want ground fiber and ground beef. And you guys also want water.
The dinosaurs are really no different from us when it comes to their emotional states.
What's your problem?
Comfortable dinosaurs are content dinosaurs.
You can't escape
and
off the back of
content
the map.
dinosaurs are more likely to thrive.
Can you escape off the back of the map? I mean, it's locked, so it doesn't count as... Where can they apparently escape? Gonna assume somewhere along here. I'm very much looking forward to actually having the passability feature when they add it, because The number of times I think, oh, there's no way they could possibly escape, and then they somehow manage to escape through solid rock. That. So that was the problem. Okay, so even though it's a map boundary, it still classifies as being escapable. Okay, interesting. Good to know. They're ankle biters. I think the Listro comforts are hung. Oh, they're missing a little bit of ground fiber. There we go. I'm going to assume they cannot use medium nests because it just makes no sense. There you go, Lystrosaurus. Where are your babies? Okay. Let's just get the basic needs of the guests sorted. Double check. Yes, they're fine with that. Fine with that. Fine on that. So, let's just sort this out. There is a cutscene from Dominion that shows a Lystrosaurus decapitating the Oviraptor's head. Yes, I mean, I suppose it's highly probable that it would have Lystro would have quite a powerful bite, but I'm not sure it would kind of understand how to bite off an Oviraptor's neck. Like, that's something you kind of have to, you know, learn. I really do love this yield restroom. One of the top bathrooms on the workshop, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so we are making profit.
There's nothing more satisfying than ticking something off the to-do list. But to get there, you need something on it first. I can help with that.
First thing to do is to get some more Gallimimus. That's acceptable to me. The galleys and the Edmontos I'm just going to put together in this large habitat back here because I don't see any reason not to.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome the Lystrosaurus to the park.
You've already got baby Lystro. They didn't waste any time, did they? I don't see any. Oh. Why are you giving it? Don't think they would be able to escape there. Just have to wait and see. Right. Yeah, they all have the fussy trait, which is something else I'm not particularly happy about on this map. Right, you'll be the male. You won't be there. there. You won't be there. Okay, those three. We'll do those three. Hello, Nicholas. Seen a build on the workshop under 2 stars. What do you mean? It's been ranked as less than 2 stars. God, it's like an alien. These guys are going to need medium nests. While they're doing that, let's and just for future use, let's put one of these guys in. I'm sure we're going to need one sooner or later. That, good sir, is nowhere near straight. How did that happen?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome the Gallimimus to the...
Okay, they want cover and they want wetlands. So let's give them the combined covery wetland business. And they want ground leaf. Satisfactory for them once they start, you know, moving around a bit. Better give them another nest over here. Explore, you bastards. Maintenance. That's not good. Why does it create such an enormous... build margins and some of this stuff? Yeah, you can't escape now. I've locked you all there. Thank you. I'm gonna assume we're gonna want some more guest stuff over here. Shall we use a different design? Let's use the industrial bathroom.
Ladies and gentlemen, our restroom is now open to use for whenever nature calls.
Another one of my favorites from the workshop. Simple. Baby Listro looks like an alien pig. It really does. When I'm done getting the Spinosaurus, I'll try to get some of the species that I didn't get in the campaign. Yeah, so my campaign save, I've decided I'm going to try and beautify each map and then use it for like background footage. But at the moment, I decided to start with like the Badlands map, which I'm going to make just a full din map, but I kind of need to finish building some of the other din buildings before I do that. That might be something I do over Christmas, since there won't be any videos or streams from us over Christmas. I might just focus on building some din buildings. Okay, I'm assuming that they're also complaining about not having any... No. 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 Okay. That wasn't... Some Gallimimus was not quite enough, so I guess... Edmonto time. Go with a classic. Have to put those guys off for a break in a minute. 2 comfort issues. What's your comfort problem? Not enough ground leaf. How much more ground leaf do you want, dude? There's just a million of them over here. Okay, so the pig juveniles are happy. Won't know if... Multiple nests required nearby. Ah, it's doing that thing. Well, I don't want multiple Gallimimus
Hey, that
nests.
nest looks pretty cozy. If the dinosaurs aren't into it, I might crawl in and take it for a nap test drive myself. That was a joke, if it wasn't obvious.
Fuck off.
Synthesis procedure complete. Incubation
Trying to buy eggs from me? Who does he think I am? Oh wow, what a terrible flipping group of Edmontos we've got going on here. Oh well. I'm pretty sure the locking statue feature on workshop builds is bugged. Baryonyx, who are you? Irritator. I am you, but better. Yeah, I mean, that's essentially what it's going to be like on Tuesday. Goodbye, Baryonyx. You were not loved because your Fallen Kingdom model sucks. So long, and thanks for all the fish, etc.
Well, look at that, a star! And look at you, an even bigger star. Consider me dazzled.
Okay, so it strikes me that the best thing for us to do is use this bit up here as mostly guests and just use this down area here for enclosures, because we can just seal it all off up here. Oh, hang on. Pad 3 is this bit here. This map feels different to the one we have in campaign. It is different, right? Or at least it's differently landscaped. Look, there's something over there. I am curious. Where's my chopper? Why would they have just... Hang on, can I get a closer look in camera? Why would they have that there on this map when You can't get over there. What a bizarre thing for them to do. Okay, I'm going to drop some more water down here because I kind of want to see if I can get the Edmontos to kind of stay around this area. And then make use of that nest. I am going to do the same trick I did with the Gallimimus nest area. Just plonk 2 nests they can't use down, and then they'll just stick to the one. And that way we shouldn't, hopefully, cross fingers, have the Fennec Fox situation with the Edmontos. But I suppose now we need to look at dig site. Oh, they all need a break. While they're doing that, do we have any good... Well, you're quite good on the welfare. We'll grab you. Everybody else is kind of naff. You're okay on genetic. You're very good on logistics. We'll grab you. And we can give you an extra point already, so we'll make you very good at welfare. Okay. So let's go for the Moros and the Procerato. Rebirth Spinosaurus looks kind of weird. I think the neck is the problem. Everything else about it looks great, but the neck is weird.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome and...
Plenty of wetland down here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a
They want pasture. And then they want ground fiber. Hopefully, that should be all right for comfort. We'll have to see what happens when we get the baby. Are the baby galleys happy? Yeah, the baby galleys are happy. We'll have to wait and see what happens. The baby Edmontos have very annoying requirements. But that looks fine at the moment. Right, we've got the Moros. One issue reported. Oh, species target. Okay. Oh, we don't have an expedition center. That was stupid of me. I really don't like where they put all the buildings on this map. Anyway. Expedition Center, Procerasaurus. And then, yeah, if we continue building this way. that should do. This land... I actually think this one we'll just have backing. The Pro Cerato in exhibit will just have backing onto the Listro. It's probably going to be the easiest way of doing it. I think it needs to be much bigger than that. They are only Listrasaur, Ceratosaur, Pro Cerato. I'll get the name right in the end. The only thing about Pro Cerato is I'm not going to be able to share with anything. They are going to be a bit of a waste in terms of space. Here's what it is. Just gonna go for a simple option. Huh. Interesting effect. Hello, Awesome Productions. What biome would you most want to see as a pack? Just did a poll with arid, coastal, forest, and polar. Arid won by a landslide. But don't we already have, like, okay, so what are you going to put in an arid themed pack? Like, in terms of arid dinosaurs, most of the big arid species we already have, or will be getting back for free.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have added a new viewing gallery
And
ready for you to observe our magnificent animals.
I don't know, what would you do for like an arid building set? I suppose African tribal sort of thing. Tarcher is a good possibility. Mononychus, again, it's a tiny animal. I feel like tiny animals are still so worthless where we have nothing good to put them in to exhibit them. So we're going to need prey for these guys and meat for whatever babies they inevitably come up with. Maybe Plateosaurus or Brontosaurus, Spicomelus, and Meraxes. Brontosaurus, I think there's absolutely no reason to have it, because it's just going to be a Patasaurus, but another one. Unless you did something specifically different with it. Like, something totally 100% random, like, give it feathers or something. Gallimimus are just creating so many babies, and the Edmontosaurs have created not a single one. extinction now are forcing the local government to block your... What's the sauropod from Australia called? I didn't even realize Australia had a sauropod species. I mean, personally, I would be all for a... Oh, Diamantinosaurus. Yeah, Rogops would make a good... Yeah, no, I want the fossils myself. Don't care about popularity. I personally probably would have picked a coastal pack out of those 4. Or a polar pack and used it as a good excuse to bring Cenozoics into the game. Megalania could work for an arid pack. I want to get a few... Really, I want to get the Procerato DNA up to its maximum before I go ahead and do anything with it. What's wrong with you? Maintenance needed.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Gallimimus to the park.
Do we have any baby? Okay, seriously, Gallies, I think you can stop breeding now. Why have these guys just decided to live and now they're suddenly missing ground leaf? Why are they suddenly missing ground leaf? Okay. And Montos, you were supposed to stay over there. That's why I gave you all the stuff over here for you guys. The territory system doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Fletcher, I swear you had a mod for it back in Jurassic World Evolution 2. I did. For Megalania. It's one of my favourite mods, actually, that one. Sarcosuchus or Caprosuchus? They're relatively similar. Probably Sarcosuchus. Hello, Luna. Yeah, see, Kairu raises a good point. Like, if I was doing a DLC pack, and I know it might be copying ideas, but I do intend to do what Evo has also said that she wants to do, and is to do like a perfect DLC pack, which I also intend to do a video on. And you can say I'm stealing the idea if you want, but like I was going to do it anyway. So, like, for me, a big thing is we need to start having very different species. Like, we can't just keep having animals that are too similar to each other. And I think that's a problem with a lot of the packs I see people come up with. It's like, oh, these are 3 good animals, but they are very, very similar to animals we already have. So what's the point? Almost like totally. See, one of the problems I find with a lot of their male-female dimorphism is it doesn't actually tend to work very well, because a lot of the female animals, they have skins that is designed to be bright skins, but they don't really correlate very well to the male pattern. I mean, look at that. That's the male pattern, but the female pattern is nothing, doesn't really relate to it in any way, but I suppose that'll do. See if we can get some decent eggs going on here. We are going to need a ranger post in here, as per normal. We are going to need a ranger to do it. I'm going to apply that to that one. And we're going to need a maintenance team over here as well. Not you. God, you're terrible. Not you. Wow, all of these are awful. Oh god, no. Discard all eggs. Oh god, yeah, I have to unlock everything. I can't be asked to deal with that. I'm just gonna keep rolling the dice until I get a good mix. I don't see any point in challenge mode just unlocking all the genetic research, because there's just no point to it. Like, what? Ranger team cannot find access to that. Why are you both in there? Situation. Fit, aggressive, intolerant, fussy, fit, nocturnal. Okay, that's our male. We'll get rid of you. We'll keep you. We'll get rid of you. I suppose we'll keep you even though you're aggressive. What does even aggressive do? Yeah, it's okay, I suppose, for that one. Think your Striptospondylus could work as a new swimming species in a coastal pack. I think that would be a very good pick for a coastal pack. Your Striptospondylus, Tanystropheus, and Pterodastro? Because for me, my plan for this is my version of a good DLC pack is, if they are going to have 3 species in, 1 land, 1 aviary, 1 lagoon. That's how it should be. Or 1 land, 1 deep water swimming capable, or lagoon, and 1 aviary. Because it's not really fair is not the right word, but I don't think it's particularly good to have the game so heavily weighted towards one particular habitat type.
You got this park a star! Great stuff. Hey, get us to 5 stars and I'll get your name tattooed on my back.
Oh, that's a
That was a joke. Huh?
that's a hideous thought.
Don't you hold
That's
me
a
to that.
simply hideous thought.
We should really try and mimic the natural environment these animals would thrive in. You'd be surprised how big an impact the right scenery and foliage can have.
Excuse me, where do you think you're Oh, I see. I love the fact that the carnivores, the minute they can see a way out of the enclosure, they are always escaping immediately. They just beeline for it. Just another example of how this game like artificially creates stuff like that. Like, they don't find it naturally, they know where it is and they run for it. Yeah, I saw what you would do. They have a meat feeder. They just explore the terrain a bit. Pasture. Why do they need so much pasture? Not herbivores. Weird environmental needs on them. I would count that as a small. Good. Missing cover. I would have thought that size of enclosure enough for Proceratosaurus. That's clearly not, but oh well. It's a bit marginal, that one.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be advised
It's
that
about
our weather
freedom.
forecasts
Thinking
predict
out of the
an incoming
box.
sandstorm.
Professor Rugops, at this point I don't think we are getting more than 10 new aviary and lagoon species combined in this game. I mean, I think 10 might be a little optimistic.
Ladies and gentlemen, please shield your eyes and proceed to take cover until the sandstorm has passed.
What do you think when someone will build Rivendell or Hobbiton? Someone already has built Hogwarts. Wow, that is...
Gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome an Edmontosaurus to the park.
That is one heck of a dark sandstorm. Christ, I couldn't see. What? Oh, and of course, my backup generator is missing again. I wish they would sort that out. It bugs me that I've built something I want to use, but it disappears. And there seems to be no reason for it to disappear either. Stuff just does not sync correctly.
Any good manager has to know how to delegate, and I'm one good manager. Observe. I'm handing this task to you.
Oh, okay. We have day-night on this particular map. Huh. Didn't have that on the others. Now, we do have baby Edmontos, and they're actually happy. Good God, that's a first.
Ladies and gentlemen, the sandstorm has now
Okay, they don't need one of those.
resume your normal
They don't
activity.
need one of those, and they don't need one of those. Okay. Fine by me. Next dinosaur, I guess. Actually, let's grab something. That's going to be the most bang for our buck, really. There's quite a few animals in there. Actually, we'll go for that one. And then this enclosure will be kind of over here, I think. There's no power! Yeah. I'd say we'll get 10 DLCs. See, I know a lot of people, one of the things that they are kind of hoping for is that this game will be supported like Planet Zoo, where it will have so many DLCs. I mean, I don't even know. I'm curious, actually. Where is Steam? Let me just have a look at my Steam. Where is Planet Zoo DLC? Page has not created any list of DLC. There are 22 DLCs for Planet Zoo. I personally think that's too much. Most of them are all about £8. So, how much is that? That's over £176 if you want to get all of Planet Zoo's DLC. That's just too much. That's 3 times the base cost of the game. Actually, no, because the base cost of the game was $42.99 if you bought the deluxe edition. So actually, that's closer to 4.5 times the initial cost of the game. And that, in my opinion, is too much. Like, having lots of DLC can be good, but I think you do have to accept that eventually a game can have too much DLC. And I think 22 DLCs is getting on for too much. If they were all just going to be, you know, species packs and stuff, that is. Like, I think if the DLCs came in other varieties and were not all priced at the same price point, then maybe I would have a different thought on that. But if they were all just dinosaur packs in the same vein as the wetland pack, and they were all the same price, then I would say 22 is too much. Some guys are just total mad lads with the building system. Yeah, I don't consider myself a good modular builder. I'm just consider myself average. Some people are just extraordinary. City Skylines has way too many DLCs. That's true. I don't even have them all, and I brought City Skylines the day... Well, I had City Skylines brought for me the day it came out. And I still don't have all the DLC for the first City Skylines. Yeah, I kind of agree with you, Professor Rogops. Apart from the animals and a map based on the island, I wouldn't say that Rebirth has a distinct sort of building style that would work for modular building pieces. I mean, most of the film you're just in open water or random forest. Maybe Aztec-inspired modular building pieces based off that temple where the Quetz is, but apart from that, I can't really see a modular building set that could come from Rebirth. Hey, Devin. If you can, you maybe add Albertosaurus to the park. My cousin's birthday is today, and his name is Albert. We don't get Albertosaurus on this challenge mode, I'm afraid. We are limited to particular species for this challenge mode, so I would if I could, but I can't.
Ladies and gentlemen.
We're going to need a bit more Struthy and a bit more Ornithomimus DNA. Depleted for Struthy? What about the futuristic look of the InGen facility on the island? Maybe, but most of that is just concrete, and we have like 3 varieties of concrete already in the modular building system. And the internals, well, I don't know, like...
There's nothing more satisfying than taking something off the to-do list.
The problem with this game is that it doesn't really matter if you build the insides of buildings, because guests don't use it anyway. So I don't really see the point in giving us the internals of... That's interesting. So we've already got a sick dinosaur at 2.5 stars. Okay. That's new. So this challenge mode performs a little bit differently. No worries, Devin. He turned 6 today. Oh, well. I hope he's had a good birthday. How would they implement the D-Rex? I'm assuming the D-Rex is just going to be implemented in the same way as all the other hybrids in the game, because it is a hybrid, no matter what you want to say. And I assume it will just be unlocked once you have a certain quantity of DNA from the T-Rex and something else. Like all the other hybrids do. What do you mean emergency shelter open? Okay, what the devil? What have we suddenly got going on here? They were all catching tuberculosis. Well, that's a bit frustrating. Why have... Okay. I don't understand why they got rid of that for this game. Like, Jurassic World Evolution 2, they had it so that once the flipping vet does its scan, if it finds something it can cure, it just automatically cures it. But they removed that for this game, and I don't understand why. Why would you do that? Just another way that this game has gone backwards. Ornithomimus. Yeah, and we'll put Ornithomimus down in here. Okay, it's still saying that. What? Why is that one randomly open? Yeah, I know he's disgruntled. He can have a break in a minute. Where are you going? Where are you going? Did you see that? It was going to drive off.
Taking back the control.
Don't compare the noble golden retriever with that ugly thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Listersaurus to the park.
Quite frankly, why do we even want the Mutadon and Distortus in this game to begin with? Well, because there are people that scream cannon, and that they think the cannon is more important than anything else. I mean, obviously they should be in the game because of it's a Jurassic game, and arguably anything that's in the Jurassic franchise's film canon should probably be in the game. It isn't Frontier's fault that we ended up with Mutadons and D-Rex in Rebirth. I mean, I wish that we didn't have them, but it is what it is. I mean, the Rebirth DLC will probably be the most pointless of all of the DLCs for me, because I will never have Mutadons in any park. I will never have D-Rex in any park. I don't really like the Quetzalcoatlus redesign, so I probably won't use that. The Spino redesign and the Sintaus and the Titanosaur is probably the only two bits of it that I would use. And whatever the modular building is that it comes with, assuming it does come with something like that, or a building set. What do you mean emergency shelter open? They're shut. What's going on here? Open all shelters, close all shelters.
Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for any inconvenience experienced.
What's going on here? They're all missing pasture all of a sudden. They're now happy. This is what I get about the babies. Like, you have to constantly keep micromanaging the babies. Because the minute they start complaining, well, that's it. Ruins your park score very quickly. I don't see why it's losing money. I've sorted everything out. Oops.
Any ecology is made up of an uncountable number of tiny interactions. Everything matters to something else. In our case, this next objective matters to me. Could you take it on?
You know, Boldera, if you were that bothered about the objective, you'd do it yourself, you know. Okay, so we got the third bit. Oh, now we have the proper... We've gotten access to the proper requirement. To have at least 10 dinosaur species, have at least 20 naturally bred dinosaurs, average comfort of 80%, make 500,000 income a minute. Should be doable. Got just enough land for 10 species, I think. Tempted to combine quite a few into this lowlands area, just like fence / rock the whole thing off and just stick like every hadrosaur I have in here. That'll probably be the easiest way of doing that. I think Microraptor could be added.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Maybe.
we are pleased to welcome you.
Although I would say that again, one of my problems with all these suggestions of certain species is that they're just way too small. So many of the species are just too small, and until we get a better way of displaying tinier species, and at the present time I don't see that happening. They're just going to be pointless to have in the game. Like, there are so many creatures of mine that I would absolutely love to see. I would love to see Anomalocaris. I would love to see various species of Animites or Trilobites. You know, there are species like Imasusaurus that I would like to see. But unfortunately, until we have a good way of displaying them, I don't see the point. And I really don't think Frontier are intending to give us that anytime soon. Yeah, you guys need to start actually exploring the map. Come on, explore the map. There we go. The other one was Struthy, right? Okay, let's go and unlock the medium dinos dig site. Want all those hadrosaurs, and basically all I'm going to do is fill up this whole lowlands area with them. We'll keep this area here. We'll fence off up here. Small animals need their own mini habitats to work. I agree, like we need something like the terrariums the Planet Zoo and 2 Point Museum have. Or something similar to that. Yeah, Devin, I noticed that particular, the D-Rex changing size in shot to shot. Did kind of bug me a little. But by that point, I had kind of given up with Rebirth as a movie anyway. I was like, oh, so it magically changes size. How much worse can this movie get? This side, we will just... cut it off with terrain. Make sure this can get our jeeps down it. And then, yeah, we've basically just got an enormous lowland area now here, which we can just use for Iguanodon and everything else. And we'll start with... Parasaurolophus, I suppose.
I trust you have the skills and expertise to handle this task.
Oh, we're gonna need another maintenance thing up here. We're probably going to need to double up on this, actually. Prehistoric Kingdom even has their compies in a terrarium. Exactly. Like, the best place for them. If not in the game at all. The best movie in the franchise. Really? Rebirth is nowhere near the best. I mean, in my opinion, it's nowhere near anywhere near the top, but like, even if you were being optimistic about it, it's nowhere near the top. Absolutely nowhere near. The fact that anyone can think that that Rebirth is as good as the original is kind of concerning. It makes sense to me. Gonna be in there. Makes sense to me that we probably want to use some viewing towers on this this area up here to look into this big zone that we're creating.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Hello, Ark.
we are pleased to welcome
Has a
Mr.
rebirth
Soros to the
after
park.
birth been announced yet? No, it hasn't been announced officially. Unless you count Swerve saying they're doing it
Ladies and gentlemen,
as an
we are
announcement.
pleased to welcome a Gallimimus to the park.
Which around here, of course, we don't, because you're not all stupid.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have added a new viewing platform, ready for you to gain an elevated view of our wonderful dinosaurs.
They look good in the dark. I haven't seen them properly in the dark. Right,
There are no unimportant tasks. Small problems can snowball if they're not dealt with. So let's get on this now.
I really hate it when it does that. You go to do something and then it takes you out here. Here's a contract. Can you not just wait a minute for me to have done? No, we don't have hotels unlocked. I didn't. Oh, we do. Oh, I just realized I haven't been building a single hotel.
Ladies and gentlemen, for your comfort, we've increased the hotel capacity of the park.
Ah, see, now all the Gallimimus are unhappy because they don't have enough ground leaf because they've bred two. Is your problem? Avian influenza.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome
Look, they would have enough ground leaf if they hadn't bred like rabbits. This is why I don't like the breeding system in this game. Just becomes a pain in the ass after a while. What? Is that a tornado? Oh, it is.
we have detected power outages across the south.
Okay, this feels a bit more hard than the normal challenge modes, I have to say.
if something is bothering the animals, we need to figure out what. and get on
Cordera,
top of
shut
it.
up.
Panic isn't a fun thing for any living creature to feel.
I've got more concerns right now than you. Maintenance vehicles, can you get on and do your jobs, please? Yes, I knew Hypsilophodon was another canon species to the novel. That doesn't make it any better, in my opinion. Hello, Navi. To be fair, tornadoes are not a problem if you use rocks as the only way to contain the animals. That is true. God, why am my maintenance vehicles are taking a very long time to do their jobs? Why are you... You weren't even doing it. You were just stood there doing nothing. You bastard. Hate it when they do that. Or don't do that, say. Now the Proceratos are unwell. Did I forget to give these guys a... I did. Infected food source. Okay, yeah, this challenge mode feels harder than the others. It definitely feels like they're throwing some more arbitrary... This is ridiculous. Look how fucking many there are. Too many. Too many. I've forgotten what I was even doing now. Getting the Parasaurolophus up to 100% is what I was doing. They've... What? They weren't all that unhappy when I last saw them. E. coli medication required. Goodness me. I've been a Hypsilophodon truther since day one of the first evolution game. Don't know why it's part of the Wetland DLC. I mean... I don't really see the point of the Hypsilophodon in general. It offers absolutely nothing. Like... What exactly does Hypsilophodon offer to the game?
Attention personnel. An animal scan has been completed by an MVU team.
Apart from it being a novel species, and therefore everyone is determined, and not even a... I mean, people go on about it being a novel species, but it's not even like a proper novel species. It's barely mentioned. But that is apparently sufficient. I don't agree with that. I think that's stretching canon, but that's a different... Where are you going?
We apologize for any inconvenience experienced during our recent handling of anomalous events.
Okay, baby ornithomimers are happy. Mutadon is a Temu dragon. I agree. It's a small ornithopod in a game with one small ornithopod. Okay, but do we need more than one ornithopod? I mean, that would be fine, but why am I going to use Hypsilophodon when I could just use Dryosaurus? If it was feathered, if it could swim, if it could do both or either, then it would be relevant. But it can't do any of that. It's just a smaller Dryosaurus. And I don't think that's good enough for inclusion. We cannot just keep having dinosaur species for the hell of it. We're going to we are limited. There are like 800 to 1,000 known species of dinosaur. If you include all the ones that are kind of tenuous. But this game is never going to have 1,000 species of dinosaur. At most, I reckon we might get up to 150 species. Maybe. We can't just keep having animals that offer nothing in terms of diversity to the roster. We have to have interesting choices, and Hypsilophodon is not an interesting choice. Not in the way it's been created. Like, they could have made it interesting, but they didn't. I think we didn't need either of the other DLC species. Irritator doesn't add anything to the game beyond being another thing that swims. Yeah, but that's sufficient in a game that doesn't have many things that swim. Like, at the present time, the deep water species are exceedingly limited to, what, 6 animals that swim? For the deep water to be more relevant, we need more animals that can use the deep water. I would have made every animal in the wetland pack one that swam. Whether it was a herbivore or a carnivore. That to me seemed like a really obvious choice. I also think Irritator being an accurate or more accurate baryonyx provides an alternative. I think that is sufficient enough for that as well. You know, Irritator can basically replace Suko or Barry if you don't like the Fallen Kingdom Barry and you want something that is more Spinosaurid in shape than Suchomimus is. Yeah, and half the deep water animals are just Spinosaurs. Irritator looks cool, but it doesn't do much for the game. Potentially. Out of the 3, though, Irritator's the strongest of the 3 choices. I don't think... Yeah, but Dryosaurus doesn't need an alternative. That's my point, Rugops. We need an alternative for the Barry, because the Fallen Kingdom Baryonyx design is awful. It doesn't look a thing like the Baryonyx. Dryosaurus is fine. There's nothing wrong with the Dryosaurus. So there's no need for it to have a replacement. And like I say, it doesn't swim and it doesn't have feathers. So it doesn't offer anything more interesting than it's just a smaller Dryosaurus, which isn't enough. I'm happy with that. So, all the Parasaurolophus are going in here. It should be big enough. Why is that? I suspect they may try and escape through it somehow. I will just block it off. Osteoraptor is technically the only dromaeosaur that eats fish, but that isn't super important in and of itself. I agree. The Osteoraptor should have been able to swim. They all should have been able to swim. That would have made all of the animals in it relevant to the game and its new mechanics. But they don't. So I don't think either of them are as good as they could have been. Like, it's perfectly valid that people like Hypsilophodon. I'm not saying they can't like Hypsilophodon. If they want to like the animal, I'm not criticizing them for doing so. But to me, I just think it's a pointless addition. It's a pointless addition that's actually been added in a really pointless way as well, because it can't swim. It should have been added to the game in a far more interesting way than the way they've done. That's my opinion. I mean, it's not only Hypsilophodon I have a problem with. I don't think the Osteoraptor is particularly good either. Quite frankly, Atrociraptor does less than Hypsilophodon because while it's canon species, it literally has nothing setting it apart from Velociraptor, which is the other worst dromaeosaur in the game. Rugops, Velociraptor has to be in the game because of the film canon, as does the Atrociraptor. But I agree with you, that's why I don't like the Atrociraptor, because they basically made it look like Velociraptor. Dominion had some extraordinarily shitty designs. Dominion was a weird movie. It feels like they didn't have a single dinosaur expert actually with them on the film.
Asset has been collected.
Quite frankly, deep water is not an important mechanic in of itself to ever matter. Well, that is a good point, Rugops. I kind of agree with you. The deep water... No, I wouldn't go that far, Wandering Gambler. It's not great, and it's a bad DLC for it. But no, I agree with you, Rugops. I don't particularly think the deep water has been done in a very good way. Primarily because so few animals actually interact with it. There is wetland parasaurs. If you just if you explore your enclosure a bit, hope they can get down there. They should be able to. We probably want to put... Might actually have to... put in a hyperloop or something. Well, actually, no, because they probably aren't going to have any guest stuff down here. I mean, fundamentally, this game's biggest problem is it hasn't mechanically evolved. That is what I said in the review, and I will stand by it. It hasn't mechanically evolved enough from Jurassic World Evolution 2 to make a lot of its new stuff that it has genuinely got relevant enough. Hello, oceans of spiders. You've done them on Jurassic Oh, I can't be dealing with that. I don't like challenge mode enough to do them on Jurassic mode difficulty. Parasaurs are okay living with other stuff, right? Especially likes Myosaura. Well, that's good then. Myosaura we'll go and grab now. Oh, we don't have access to Myosaura yet, do we? Are they okay living with other hadrosaurs? They don't dislike living with other hadrosaurs. That's fine by me. What I'll do is I'll just stick another dropper in here, and then we'll drop some hadrosaurs over that direction. And hopefully their territories shouldn't be too much of a problem. Iguanodon. Let's go Matabarosaurus. Make 500,000 income. Books is fine. Beanbags, display cabinets, and fossil displays max you out. Don't get much from there. Energy drinks are 49,000. Excellent. That should get the income up.
You just earned
There
this
we go.
park a star and my appreciation. Terms and conditions apply on that second one, naturally.
Naturally. Yeah, I agree with you, Rugops. There's no point putting the deep water in with the sauropods. All they do is walk through it. They don't actually like use it. That's one of my defining problems with the wetland environment, bruh.
I can tell that you'll be as excited about this task
It's one of
as
my
I am.
problems with
Get out there and hit it out the park.
deep water. Like, the animals don't actually use the new environments that the game provides. Yeah, we still don't really have anything decent in terms of like paleo diet, but for the carnivores. Like, I had hoped that since the deep water provided fish for Spinosaurids, that we wouldn't have to put fish feeders in their enclosures, but we do. So we don't even have a wild way to feed them. Well, yeah, I mean, playing on easy mode Oceans of Spiders obviously means I get spammed less with storms, but this challenge mode has proven to be a little more difficult than normal easy difficulty. New viable genome, Matasaurus. Yep, but I don't make any dinosaur in this. It's 100% genome. The parasaurs are wandering away from the nests. Awkward. Ah, there's the income. So we literally just need to get the dinosaur species up. We might put Struthy in here as well. Give us a helping hand. Probably stick something up in this corner, maybe the Moros. My hatchery. I'm still very happy with this. People are complaining about a lack of space. Well, luckily for me, I don't have to worry about them complaining about a lack of space. All I have to worry about is pumping out dinosaur species now. Speaking of, let's go and get that Struthy genome up. Would have been awesome to see dinos take mud bus. Yeah, I mean, like, we needed more environmental interactions. I mean, we needed more interaction-based stuff anyway. I mean, I think it's a damning indictment against the game that Zoo Tycoon 2's animals from decades ago had more behavior than the animals in this game do. I hear it in your voice that you want to do Jurassic difficulty once you complete this map. Never. Never, ever. No, never. I have been totally put off Jurassic difficulty after my experience in Jurassic World Evolution 1. I remember spending... I think I played solidly for like 8 hours. And I got it to just about 2 stars on the Matanceros map. And I decided at that point I wasn't having fun. So I decided to stop playing. The funny thing is, I kind of feel that if the game had better management and if the game had more mechanical depth to its systems, we wouldn't actually need challenge mode and you could just have campaign but have variable difficulty in the campaign. And we wouldn't need a separate challenge mode for a challenging, in inverted commas, experience. Yeah, exactly, Wandering Gambler. I think either of those are perfectly valid options. And I mean, I'm often accused of being like, oh, you're just being unrealistic with your wants from the game. But again, I don't think it's unrealistic to just want them to have some behavioral animations that work with the environments. Like, have them roll around in the mud or have them wallow in the mud. Like, is it really that excessive a request? I don't think that it is. Scientist busy. Wait for them. Well, I mean, obviously, Rugops, I would make some changes to make the campaign actually challenging. I mean...
I trust you have the skills and expertise to handle this task.
That is... It wouldn't just be as simple as having management and stuff in the campaign. It would require changes then to be made to the campaign as well to make it more challenging. All I'm saying is... What the heck? Something just broke out. Why did all the Proceratos break out? What's wrong with the Proceratos all of a sudden? They were missing cover and missing pasture because they all grew up. It's not my fault you all bloody grow up. This is why I don't like having babies in the game. Because they do nothing but make your gameplay more annoying than it should be. Where are my maintenance vehicles? No one. You Proceratosaurus are not permitted to breed anymore. You.
Okay, we all need to remain
You're
calm.
sodding off.
Stay cool,
You're
as it were.
sodding off.
It's the animals that are stressed, not us. We're relaxed. Or at least we will be when you handle the on-edge dino.
You're sodding.
En route to collect the asset.
No more breeding is permissible from the Proceratos. Why are they They were protesting the fact they were dying, correct? Security needs improvement. It's not the security that's the problem. It's the babies and the way they've done the breeding mechanic in this game that's the problem. Seeing some of the stuff on the workshop, like the aquariums, roller coasters, and river rides, it puts the blocks, the frontier calls attractions to shame. Yeah, but the problem is those aren't really attractions, are they? Like, it's all very well and good people building random stuff to be pretend attractions, but they don't actually work. It's why I don't really tend to get them, because they're just kind of worthless. They're just background decoration at that point.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Muttaburg.
If they worked, then yeah, it would be amazing, but they don't. Ground fiber. Ground fruit and ground fiber. And I do heavily kind of feel that the workshop is... I don't know. I feel that Frontier is going to use the workshop as just an excuse to not give us stuff. Because people are building it. Like, why would they go through the rigmarole of doing all the hard work themselves when people have just already built this stuff? I'm still really very much on, like, I don't think modular building has done this game any good. That is fundamentally my opinion. After struggling through the review to figure out what I wanted to say about it, I don't think modular building was the right way to go.
I can tell that you'll be as excited about this task as I am. Get out
Yeah,
there
security
and get it out
cameras
the
I don't
park.
see any need in having, because I mean, to me, they're actually more annoying than helpful, because the minute a fence collapses, your chopper goes over and tranquilizes every animal it can find. Like, even the ones still in the enclosure, oh, they get tranked. To me, I think it's better to just have good maintenance areas of effect so that any break in the fence is fixed quickly. So that, and then just send the chopper to trank maybe one animal instead of it tranking all 100 of them, and then you having to either wait for them all to wake up or arbitrarily move them a bit so they wake up. It would be nice if they provided some sort of antidote for the tranquilizer so that you could wake them all up quicker, but they don't. Species breed way too fast. They do. They breed too fast. They don't die fast enough for the rate of breeding to make that rate of breeding usable. Many of the animals, I think their desired like population limits are way too high. I think the whole system needs balancing more across the board to make it more worthwhile having. I'd say modular building added more tedium. Yeah, like, obviously, the way I look at it, and I'll be making a video about this in the new year. It's like going to be one of my first videos that I make as a supplementary to my review. Fundamentally, what does modular building provide? All it provides is creativity. That's it. That's the only thing it provides, creativity. But what does modular building take away from the game that it did have? Well, it takes away accessibility. It takes away time. It makes the game feel much more complicated. It forces the game to have higher system requirements because obviously the modular building system is quite a draw on resources. And the implementation of the workshop then means that we have a system which is actually causing classism and toxicity in the community, because the people who build super amazing stuff look down on everybody else. And I've already seen that it's on the Reddit. I've seen YouTubers posting about it. You know, I've seen YouTubers making videos about shit creations they found on the workshop and taking the piss out of them for their own benefit of content. And that's not very good. No, it's not very nice. And that's the sort of toxicity and classism that I feel modular building inevitably creates. And I also think that one of the problems is that it means Jurassic World Evolution as well loses... It loses part of its identity. Like, Evolution's identity was always, you know, this is a dinosaur park builder with with a focus on making it accessible for everyone to play, regardless of your level of creativity.
Oh, our animals have put their nest to good use.
I have finally had enough. They are being muted from now on. I have had enough specifically of him as well. I have had enough. That's it. No more voice lines. This game is going to be muted in terms of character audio for the rest of the time I play it for years to come. Anyway, as I was saying. Yeah, Evolution had its own distinct entity. Its own distinct... Oh shit, I've lost my complete train of thought. Yeah, I've lost my train of thought now because of that flipping Boldera interruption. It had its own identity because of how accessible it was, because of the franchise factor, yes, but because it was very accessible, but also because it was a frontier game that was not like Planet Zoo or Planet Coaster or Prehistoric Kingdom. But now, all that they've done by making it modular building is they've just made this game like all of the others. It's just the same as Planet Zoo and Planet Coaster, just with a different skin over it. And worse still, this game has a competitor now. Prehistoric Kingdom is now a competitor to this game because they are both modular building games, they both have babies, they both have dinosaurs. One game is focusing, though, on accuracy, this game is focusing on Jurassic, but fundamentally they are now competing with one another. And I don't think that's necessarily a good thing for them to have done. Prehistoric Kingdom inherently has a lot more freedom with how they develop the game than these guys do. These guys are another one. You know, all I want to do is get some bloody iguanodon. No need to make each identical amenity separate because there was no need to put food, drink and shopping amenities separately. Exactly. Prehistoric Kingdom doesn't have a high budget, no, but does that matter? Look at what they've already been able to achieve. And I mean, it should be noted that this game kind of requires people to... Guys, can you actually go and do your job? You won't go and do your job because this is not how the bloody cows. It's got... Oh my god. Go and do your job, please, mateys, guys. That's what you're there for. Why are you unhappy? You're missing pasture. Well... got pasture. But now you're missing wetlands. But now you're missing pasture. This is the most frustrating part of this game. It really is. Look, I cannot make that enclosure happy. Because they require more pasture and more wetland than I can provide in this enclosure. Limits so close. This is why I don't tend to fuck around with having babies in my enclosures, in my parks. Because they're just a nuisance. It's not fun to play with them.
Apologize for any inconvenience experienced.
Ah. Anyway, where were we? Sorry, I lost track of the chat. I'm trying to look for a glass wall and I can't find the right one. Yeah, that's the other thing about this modular building system is it's much more like it's not as good as Planet Zoo or Planet Coasters because there's so many weird choices they've made with the materials that they've actually provided. Why do these guys have no fuel? Is that not what you're supposed to do, good sir? How is the iguanodon not up to 100% yet? This is something else I've noticed with this game. They've just arbitrarily made some dinosaur species just take forever to get. Like you can just constantly be getting DNA for them, and you just barely get any at all. And then there are some species where you get like 75% from one dig. There's so much arbitrary slowing down in this game just to make the grind worse. There is really no point in having power stations in this game. The backup generators are better. I'll totally disagree with you there, Rogops. Refilling the power generators is a massive financial drain on parks in the early game. It is far better in terms of monetary value to build a power station. Finally, iguanodon's completed. Insufficient skill. Oh. You need oh, she's very nice. Why are these all set to default? That'll do. You're getting your first baby velociraptors. Oh, well, I trust they're better behaved for you than they had been for me. Yeah, exactly, Rogops. They just haven't rebalanced so much of this game. I haven't even seen what the ratings are for them either. Like, I'm waiting for DynoDB to do its Jurassic World Evolution 3 page. Well, these are all shit, aren't they? Because I actually want to check out the ratings and see whether if the ratings have actually been made to make sense or not. Because in Evolution 2, they made absolutely no sense. So this will be species number 8. So I suppose we should go and get... Oh, Struthy, we've got Struthy as well to put in, haven't we? Which will be species 9. So apart from that... we'll just scrap Moros Intrepidus. We can just stick a Moros Intrepidus enclosure up here. I'm not even gonna mess around with it. Does Dunkleosteus still have its low rating? I think it does. Strictly... I'm not messing around with this anymore. That'll be dinosaur number 9. See, look here, like... that gives us 65%, and there's probably another 10% from those. From one dig. But Iguanodon took 4. They killed the sell option, but it shouldn't cost you to remove a species. Yeah, the whole rewilding thing costing money is a little frustrating.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome
Three environmentalists. Okay, well, if they explore a bit, they'll have plenty of wetland. Ground fruit is definitely something we need to provide. But again, if they explore around a bit... they'll find plenty. They just need to explore around a bit.
gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome an ornithomimus to the park.
The ornithomimus are breeding again. There we go. That'll be our Struthies. And these will be our morals. I don't think I technically need to do all this, but because it counts as having it in the park the minute you take them out the hatchery, funnily enough.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have added a new viewing gallery, ready for you to observe our Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a
They'll be fine once they explore around a bit. Identified ailment discovered. Who? It's Ornithomimus. Where's the medical? There's the medical. Injury? Oh, they're attacking the fence. Why? What's your problem? Suddenly needing more wetland and ground leaf. Yeah, it's because you've bred a bunch. Stop bloody breeding. Like, they should only breed to the point that the enclosure allows them to breed. They shouldn't just keep breeding and breeding and breeding until they want to escape. This is like one of the most annoying parts of this game. They should stop. When they have enough. What disease? Infected wound and a... infected wound. Why? What? I have to research how to deal with an infected wound? Prevent dinosaurs with infected wound for fighting for 300 seconds? My dude, by the time I get that done, this will be over and done with. Just remove the nest. I could, but at this point I just want to get this done and dusted. And removing the nest is... I don't know. I kind of feel like I shouldn't have to just keep deleting nests to stop these dinosaurs breeding in a way that breaks the mechanics of the game. There we go. There's our 5 stars. And I don't want to listen to Cabot Finch talking to me about it.
Ladies and gentlemen.
That took 3 hours? That's preposterous. Right, I'm just going to double check that actually worked. Gallimimus statue. Yes, it did. Okay. Since we have a bit of time, I am curious about this Azores one. Because it says you should be able to do it in 15 minutes, which I don't understand. So the Azores is the good kind of hell. I see. I agree. Dunkleosteus should have a much higher rating than what it actually has. I don't need your pointless intro, Cabot. Don't let 6 dinosaurs die. Make sure your dinosaurs have an average comfort rating of 90%. Make 175,000 profit per minute and have a maintenance level of 90%. Okay. So what is wrong with this? They haven't got enough space. I'm going to assume these guys don't have enough space. And I'm going to assume I cannot just add, yeah. I see. What's wrong with you? Just not enough on the needs. Okay. You guys are happy. You guys are happy-ish. What, the Utahraptors are in the enclosure with the Nasutoceratops? Who thought that was a good idea? And the Stegosaurs... That's got to be too small of an area for them, right? No, it's just big enough. Okay. Well, obviously the aviary and the lagoons are the big problems here, because I can't really do anything with them as they are. So the only thing I can do is rebuild them elsewhere. So let's go 1, 2, 3 should be sufficient for those Dimorphodon. They shouldn't need any more than that. And then if we just... Oh, we don't even have a... Oh, blimey. Okay, let's do one thing at a time. So the first thing this needs power. Do we have a power plant? No, we don't. Do we have access to power plants? Yes, we do. Okay. See, I have my backup generators on this map. Why don't I have them on the others? I don't understand. Okay, that provides this with power. That should stop them escaping. Their problem is they are lacking water. Water we can give them. They are lacking ground fruit and ground fiber. Want more ground fiber. This enclosure is not big enough. should be sufficient. Not sufficient in terms of cover? Really? Wow, this enclosure sucks for him. Jesus Christ. Is that going to be the case with every one of these animals? That all of their enclosures are just a little bit too small? These guys have a bunch of medical problems. I don't even know where to start on this. Like, every one of them is messed up. Missing arid. Okay. Missing arid we can do. There's your arid. They want deep water. How much more deep water do they want? Honestly, the fact that they turned Dimetrodon into a swimmer just doesn't sit right with me. Okay. So that they are now happy, right? So I am not even going to mess around. I have to mess around with that. Where is... we don't even have a maintenance building. Okay, that makes sense. But we need to get maintenance up anyway, so... You directly go over here and fix that problem. You maintenance, 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 maintenance. Probably should deal with the escaped Utahs first, who also ate each other. Yeah, these guys, they cannot be living in here. I feel like the Stegosaurus should be in here. The do not let 6 dinosaurs die thing is definitely going to be the bit that screws you over, I think, in this. Considering this on this map, I think we can kind of get away with using backup generators. I don't think we need to mess around with an actual power plant, thinking about it. What is this? What have they done here? Nice try. Okay, Baryonyx needs deep water. Go. He wants plenty of wetland and cover. He wants barren. Why does he want wetland and barren? That's a weird combination. Okay, so now he wants... Why does it feel like they've just put the most awkward species possible in this map? Okay, so we definitely need to get those out of that enclosure. Then these guys can have this to themselves, and they can have the water. They can have the ground leaf. Okay, they will be happy once the Utahraptors are KO. Once the Utahraptors are KO, where will they go? I think we need to do this. I think we need another one of these guys. I want you to go over here and... Who's at most risk here? Probably both of them. Trank everything in here. Can't trank everything in there. Tranquilize everything in there. Let's see how it... Oh, they're all intelligent. That's why I was wondering why this has been designed the way it has. They're all intelligent. That's why. Okay. Oh, I see we have a problem over there. I think not raptors. Okay. New enclosure for the raptors. Repair the took him long enough. Target found. Okay, these guys are missing ground fruit. They're just about happy. That's fine by me. Right. They're no longer a danger to guess. Their thing's been shut. They can't escape. Female, male, female, male. Oh, don't these guys have annoying... Utahraptors hate each other. If multiple females are together, it will be a bloodbath. So it's only one... Oh, shh. So we actually need to make 2 enclosures. And then we're going to have to transport one into there. That's male. One into there. One into there. One into there. Make sure these guys have something to drink. Make sure these guys have something to eat so they be happy. Drink. Something to kill. There we are. Backup generator just easy. All of these guys should be unconscious, mostly unconscious. So you need to be transported there. You need to be transported there. You know, I reckon the Dimorphodon, I think if we just reduce their numbers a bit, I think they should actually be okay. I'm actually gonna see if we can get away with just transporting those ones and see what happens. These guys are injured, so we're going to need paleo veterinary as well. Ugh. Okay, these guys, I have no idea what to do. Yes, I do. We got the lagoon, right? Yes, we can. So I just need someone to go over and start tranquilizing. Needs lagoon hatchery. It's got a lagoon hatchery. Oh. Why does a battery-powered drone need a lagoon hatchery? Function.
Across the site. Thank you for your patience and understanding.
Happy. 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 Oh, what? Oh, for God's sake, I can't... No, these Dimorphodons are going to be annoying, I suspect. This just reminds me of the Jurassic Park 3 Chaos Theory mode. That it's just going to be tranquilizing and moving dinosaurs for the whole bloody thing. Hang on one moment. Environmental problems. What are your problems? You want more pasture. Okay. You want more cover. You want more wet. Well, start exploring the space a bit more. Oh. What? Why were you unhappy? There's no target outside. What does that mean? Target found outside enclosure. There's nothing here for it to attack. How big of a space do I have to give the fucking thing? What? Are you joking? That's the amount of space you have to provide them? Rabies. It has rabies and an infected wing.
Attention personnel. We have detected power outages across the site. Available personnel, please respond. Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a dimorphodon to the park.
Yeah, I know they have undiagnosed ailments, but how am I supposed to... I don't even know how you... Also has rabies. Right now, though, I want to make sure you guys can actually...
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a dimorphodon to the park.
like, live without kicking up a fuss. Right. I have to go and research the cure now, don't I, to rabies?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a dimorphodon to the park.
That's that bloody baryonyx again, isn't it? No, it's not. Hang on, what's broken a fence now? Why did you guys... Because I forgot to give them their requirements. Oh my lord, these dinosaurs are fussy. What? Hang on, what wasn't sufficient enough? What was I missing from this enclosure? The wetland environment, probably? No, the ichthyes I know have an ailment, but I can't even get to them.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are
I
pleased
won't be able to
welcome
get to
you
them until...
to the park.
I mean, the baryonyx is going to have to stay there until... That's the other thing that bugs me. Like, you're limited on how many transport helicopters you can do. Hey, you just apply yourself to each of those. What's on low health? These guys. Yeah, well, I can't do anything about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a dimorphodon to the park.
How are you supposed to do all of this in 15 minutes? You don't have enough time to move the stuff in that time. No, they're not females. There's one female and... Oh, balls.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a dimorphodon to the park.
I thought... I was sure I had done those two as one female, one male. How did I manage to do that? Now, this takes a long time to... Injured, broken wing. Infected food source? I've literally just... What target is it finding outside of its enclosure, though? I don't understand what it means by that. Because there are paths here? Is that the problem? Because there are paths? I never actually played with the intelligence trait on the original game. I'm now seeing why it was hated. Because it is hateful. That radius is ridiculous. Like, how are you ever supposed to get a viewing gallery onto this thing? Yummy tourist. Yummy. Quite possibly. Infected food source. Again. What? Are you telling me that also they're just going to constantly keep infecting all of the food sources? Don't have... Oh, well, we have the domes, I guess. We need to move one of these guys, don't we? Yeah. Move you. You'll go in this enclosure. You guys also need status checks. Everything needs status checks. The most annoying parts of the game. Okay, now you're fine because you don't have anything around. Good. Transport to the... Six? Of course, because why would they give you the scientists you require to fix the dams? Or they could just screw you over. Go and have a look over them, please. Yeah, these guys are all seemingly happy. Just all these bloody ichthyosaurs that need solving. And the injured. Disease contracted. Why am I not surprised? Infected wounds. Damaged tooth. These guys are all going to require... What's got no power? It'll have power in a minute once the bloody maintenance jeeps get on the job. These are all really bad. You need like 3 of every building in this scenario just to get everything working. Oh god, we can't do it because we don't have enough scientists to fucking heal them. They take a minute and a half to heal. You know you can do everything in the lagoons and aviaries manually with the drones. Manually just takes longer. Oh, now what? The fucking Utahraptors again. Because, of course they did. Because I wasn't quick enough in getting one of the fucking females up. It was tranquilized. Don't really see why that didn't count. Yeah, I know low health. I'm working on the problem, dipshits. Requires major injury. What? I thought they had major injuries. Oh, hello, Basti. Oh, I'm gonna have to stop the stream in a minute because it's D&D night. But let's see if I can actually, like, get these blasted things sorted first. Okay, you guys are gonna be happy because I don't see why you wouldn't be happy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Dimorphodon to the park.
I'm not gonna stick you in there. I'm gonna stick you in here. Safer. Have to research the cure for infection. I assume guests are not happy because they cannot see anything. Yeah, I would guess. Guest comfort is stuff like toilets, bathrooms, bungalows. But there's no point doing that until everything here is actually fucking gonna die. You go over there and do any of this if it needs. Oh, of course, they can't find a route to anything that has... Infected wounds. They'll be cured by that. Okay, the ichthyosaurs are happy. Dimorphodons are happy. This is now emptied. Utahraptors are happy. So now it's just like...
Ladies and gentlemen, our restroom is now open to use for whenever nature calls.
Bathroom requirements. Bunker requirements.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have added a new viewing gallery, ready for you to
Hotel
observe
requirements?
the
I
magnificent
assume
animals.
that's also a thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, for
Okay.
your comfort, we've increased the hotel capacity of the park.
Yeah, I'll get on the power supply in a minute. No improvement from this at all. Weird, they don't want any food. Strange. Why? It just not fucking figured out that I put a food thing. There's already a food thing down somewhere. Oh, there's one there. I did not spot that one hiding in there. That should do it. Potentially. Might have to plonk in another hotel.
Ladies and gentlemen, for your comfort, we've increased the hotel capacity up.
Maybe I'm going to have to finish this off stream because I'm going to have to go to D&D. But we are almost there. I just need to get the profit margin up. But goodness gracious me. That's a very annoying setup to give people for a challenge mode. And then to give them, you know, you're going to have to research for 15 minutes in a 15-minute period. You can't do this in 15 minutes. I don't see how you're supposed to be able to. I don't see how you're supposed to be able to do that in 15. Yeah, I will finish that off stream because it won't take me 2 seconds to finish. Yeah, but I've got to go off for D&D. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Don't forget to like the stream if you haven't done already. I will be back on Wednesday, probably, with Fallout for our usual stream. And obviously Friday and Sunday for my usual streams. Do keep an eye on the community tab for the channel, because there will be some announcements in the next few days about how things are going to go over Christmas and the beginning of the new year, so do keep an eye out for those. But yeah, thank you for tuning in, everyone. I will see you next time, and until then, enjoy the rest of your Sunday evenings, stay safe, and good night.